Next week, South Africans head to the polls, 30 years on from the nation's first democratic election, which followed decades of a brutal and racist apartheid regime. The BBC's special correspondent, Fergal Keane, was reporting there at the time and has returned to the country to see what, if anything, has changed. He sent this report from...
It was one of those rare, shining moments.
The end of the order of racial discrimination, of segregation. The end of the age of pain and humiliation for millions of black South Africans.
An extraordinary story unfolding.
White rule on the continent of Africa came to an end at 7 o'clock South African time this morning.
When history shuffled forward with the promise of equality and justice for all. 30 years later, loud and energetic, democracy has endured. The ruling ANC talks of promises delivered on housing and services, but it's presided over massive corruption.
It is dawn on the margins of existence.
Back in 1994, they hoped for a very different South Africa. Hopes I heard from the poor of the squatter camps.
I want to live at the nice house with my children because I'm suffering. I won't be the same like white people.
A single mother, Cynthia Mthebe, scavenged on a dump for tin cans which she sold to feed her 7 children.
Because if you don't work, you can't eat. You must work very hard.
Now, as South Africa prepares to vote, I've come back to find out what's happened to Cynthia and her hopes. I'd meet her again in a rural area, where she'd come to escape the squalor and crime of the squatter camps.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you.
But Cynthia, now 78, is blind and
It's
ill.
so lovely.
Yeah, it's you, Fergal.
It's me.
Oh, it's you.
You can't see me at the moment, can you? But you can hear me.
I do.
There we go.
She has a house, but built by her children, not the state. No running water, frequent power cuts.
What do you think of how the country is now?
Oh, South Africa. Haina bophelo.
There's no life.
There's no life in South Africa.
Cynthia escaped from this, but apartheid's legacy of poverty and ANC corruption have hurt. Son Amos was shot by criminals and is lame. He can't find a job. Daughter Joyce also among the more than 30% of unemployed people. They survive because daughter Doris set up her own small shop and helps everyone else.
Okay, guys, I'm going to show you something here that you've never seen.
The Mthebes asked us to see the old film of their lives.
You can't eat. You must work very hard.
Do people get sick?
In their reaction, the measure of what's been endured.
Fergal Keane, BBC News, in the Ivory Park squatter camp.
Things are better now, but we're still pulling hard. So my mother, I want to thank this lady. Because of her, I'm who I am. Mom, I love you. And I want to be like you.
By mid-morning, there is almost nothing left of...
Back in 1994, Cynthia's shack was demolished in the last days of apartheid.
The art of survival has taught people to dismantle...
Forward to now, a few kilometres from where I first met her, the destroyed shacks of a new generation. The homeless, in the world's most unequal society, where the top 10% own 86% of the wealth. This land is slated for development, including houses for the poor, but the waiting is long. In the meantime, shotguns keep trespassers at bay.
Right.
The people are suffering, but they can say, vote for me always. That's why I was saying I'm not going now to vote. I'll stay at home.
No magumya.
The generations of Mthebe women, like so many other of this nation's poor, who, when elections have come and gone, will be holding their families and their country together. Fergal Keane, BBC News, Klipgat, South Africa.